Rise and reach for the stars, Wild Pack. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your December 2021 horoscopes. Yes, finally. Yes, I know today is the 4th of December. Yes, I know you all were looking forward to, because I said I would have them up by the 1st. And I do apologize. However, when you find out the crazy chain of events that just kept getting in my way, getting in my way, getting in my way, which ultimately is, if you see the dazed look in my eyes, it's just because every time I turn around, there's yet another synchronicity for you all that is just been put in front of me, put in front of me, put in front of me, put in front of me. I've got to believe because the tarot and oracle card and the spirit animal on Monday, this past Monday, was the polar bear, which is the star card in my deck. And of course, I don't have a box right here. But for those of you just joining me and don't know me, I'm Bernadette. I am the creator and publisher of the award-winning and history-making Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. It's what I read from. It works the medicine and energy of spirit, totem, and power animals in with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot symbolism. And I know I'm stumbling, you guys, but I've just got so much to I've just got so much to say and show you. You're just gonna be freaked out. So here we go. So the star card in the polar bear was Monday, right? And then the same day I drew the cards for the monthly horoscopes. And I will be doggone if the polar bear and the star card didn't show up as the overview card for the monthly horoscopes for this December 2021, right? Okay, so all of that said, it was just craziness. Just the sheer volume of bear synchronicities and bear synchronicities and bear synchronicities that just kept coming up over and over again. I thought, well, I'll do the video now, and then something would get in my way, and darn if it didn't have to do with a bear, or it didn't have to do with a polar bear in particular. And anyway, let me just tell you this. So then on Thursday, I did the live readings, and Red Cardinal came up at the very end of the readings for everybody as a message for them to take away. And all of a sudden, I just got flooded with these stories about these cardinal messages and experiences that people had within like 24 hours of Thursday. More synchronicities, and then poof, the cardinal card shows up on Thursday, right? So one of the things that I want to show you guys, and I've got her permission to do this. If you can see this, why is this doing this? Because it's nutty. Okay, so if you can see this screen, you'll see Amanda Jones. She is a longtime, follower of mine and subscriber, and I just love her to death. And she pinged me right after the live, or during the live, right at the very, very end when the cardinal was shown. And she wrote on Facebook to me, literally as the live ended, the car in front of me goes around the farmers, and this truck is right in front of her. And if you can see it, there's a red cardinal on the back of this truck. And we were just talking about red cardinals during the live. Okay. Synchronicity number one. Now, what makes this a little kooky is that what I said during the live was that for anyone who had anything on their mind about a loved one who's passed, a fur baby, a human, and anybody, right? This could even be almost like you could be in mourning for a part of you that has passed over or has come to an end at the moment, like very literal. Other than love, I'm of the opinion very literal, or very little in life is anything other than temporary. I think love is very permanent, like all eternal and enduring, and cue the harps and the angel music right now. But I really do believe that. So oftentimes people will associate the visitation of cardinals with loved ones who've passed, because that's pretty much the first thing most people learn when they're researching spirit totem and power animals, like instantaneously. Most people say, most people that teach this kind of thing, or just kind of talk about it in their circles, cardinals are immediately the sign of a loved one coming to visit you. But I don't find that's always the case, right? Just because it's the norm in some circles doesn't mean it's the norm for my readings or my relationship with the spirit totem power animals, and for you as well. So all that being said, what I said at the end of the live was, this is for you all who have a loved one of any kind that's crossed over that has been very much on your mind and heart in the last 24 to 48 hours. It was very specific. The message that came from Cardinal is very specific. This is all gonna lead back to the polar bear and the star tarot card. I promise you. But you got to see this, because this is just one of a jillion stories of synchronicity that have happened this month. And so, just so far, okay, we're talking from December 1st to, what is today? December 4th. Okay, and today is December 4th. It's not even over yet. It's like the middle of the day here in Florida. Okay, so I pretty much knew her dad was on her mind because her father just passed away a couple of weeks ago, right? But I wanted to be sure, just because I assumed that. Remember, you guys, I'm an evidential psychic medium. So I'm like, oh my God, because my gosh, there's your sign, right? All right, Bill Engvall doesn't know it, but he's very popular in the metaphysical circles. Bill Engvall, the comic, if you don't know him, and his shtick is, here's your sign. Look him up, he's hilarious. Okay, so I love Southern comics though, so I'm like, oh, who are you thinking of? She's like, my dad, of course. And then Amanda, I feel like it could be a number of people, but he's heavy on my soul due to his passing being so fresh. My sister-in-law was telling me last night the only time Dad ever called her was if he ran out of gas, and she freaking ran out of gas this morning on the highway. Ha 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 ha. Dad is still giving lessons. How inconvenient. I think not. Okay. So then later in the day, okay, as if that wasn't crazy enough, later in the day, Amanda pings me again, and she says, oh, I said, well, may I tell about this in a reading? She says, absolutely. Now I can't smile. I'm thinking of him, thanks to him. I'm like, oh, I love that. Okay, so that last we talked was at 1:52. At 8:53, Amanda pings me and she says, holy shiitake mushrooms. I'm on the phone with my brother, told him about the cardinal and the sister-in-law running out of gas, and he said, well, you're not going to believe this, but the truck I worked on today was Cardinal Home Improvements. Really? 3 cardinals in one day? And I'm like, wow, thank you for taking the time to let me know. Can't wait to tell everyone. All right, so here's why I'm going into all this, y'all, is because it just mathematically, the odds of the polar bear and star card showing up in the span of like 4 minutes when I'm pulling cards for the Monday reading, and then I'm pulling cards for the December 2021 monthly horoscopes. There are 149 cards in the Arc Tarot deck, okay? The odds of those showing up, bamity, bamity, boom, as much as I shuffle the cards, I am a shuffling fool. That is just like poof, synchronicity. Okay, so here we go. Here's another thing. So I'm on Etsy. Why, I don't know. Other than sugar, Etsy and Pinterest are my next, addictions. I just really should never open up Etsy. It's never pretty for my wallet. But anyway, so I'm looking for llamas, y'all. Llamas. Just llama stuff. I love llamas. I'm a search engine person. I know how search engines and algorithms work. I do. I'm like an expert at this stuff, right? And so it makes no sense from a computer, from an internet, from an algorithmic standpoint, why a listing should show up in front of me. You know what? I was going to pull it up. Hold on. I'll pull it up right now if I can. Oh wait, I showed it on Facebook. Let me find it on Facebook. Anyway, who knew? But I didn't know. I thought I was pretty hip on gods and goddesses, right? Apparently not, because right here is, if you guys have ever heard of this, if you guys have ever heard of this person, this goddess, Artio, she's the goddess, she's the mama bear, she's the goddess of bears. What? It's a Celtic goddess? What? I really, really thought I knew Celtic goddesses. inside and out? Apparently not. Come to find out, she's a very little known goddess, and she's been lost throughout history. So in the product listing, oh, let me pull on the product listing for you guys, because it just gets better, y'all. Oh, it gets way better. Okay, so this is the start. This is the seller, God's North. Please write this down, because if you guys are into statuary, these people, they're from the Ukraine, and their statues are some of the most beautiful I've seen. And if you're particularly into pagan and Wiccan gods and goddesses and that kind of thing, check them out, God's North. But here's the story. So there's this whole description, right? Okay, so it doesn't read it here, okay, but she's part of the Celtic tribe of the Helvetians or Helvetians. I'm not 100% sure how to say that. In Western Europe, yak yak yak. The region of Switzerland, worshipped as a bear goddess, yak yak yak. It goes on and it goes on. Okay, listen. And then what does it read, y'all? Okay. She patronized the city of Bern. What's my name? Bernadette. What have I said to y'all 100 times? What does my name mean in French? The literal translation from French to English is brave, strong bear. That's why I got my trademark to be Brave Ursus. Okay, so now I'm just like, la, 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 la. And I go on to do a Google search about, because now I'm fascinated, right? I'm like, Ardeo, what? So I do a Google search. I won't even go to Amazon. But what's one of the first things that comes up? This book, Ardeo and Artaus. It's the male version of Ardeo. Okay. And this guy, Andrew Anderson, he was as fascinated with Ardeo and her male counterpart as I am now, and God love him, he did all the research. So I'm reading this old boy's book, and it's talking about burn this and burn that, and there are other things in here that just really strike a chord with me, but come on now, connect the dots, y'all. Okay, so, because I have to do that myself, I have to connect the dots, but the bear that I most resonate with is brown bears. Well, Russian and brown bears. But my enduring love of all bears, panda bears, polar bears, black bears, sun bears, bears, it's never ending. So when I take a look at, and this is not about me, but what this is about is to illustrate to you all that I am telling you, it doesn't matter which zodiac sign you are. It doesn't matter. I am begging you through the month of December. You heard it here first. During the month of December, the spirit, totem, and power animals, the stars, the asteroids, the Milky Way, all of your astrology, all of that is just knocking on your door to please, oh please, oh please pay attention to the synchronicities, because certainly if there's a synchronistic thing happening and it's a cardinal and you happen to believe that, cardinals are, the sign of loved ones visiting you, awesome. That's what it means for you. If it happens to be flamingos, it could be a song. It could be a pattern that you see. I remember one time, a number of years ago, I just kept seeing women wearing these this cherry pattern, all these really cute shirts and shorts and all that kind of thing with, that was white with the bright red and green cherries on it. Very, very, very rockabilly, those kind of outfits. And yeah, I guess you could have said it was like that trend, except for it wasn't. That trend had passed some years before. And all of a sudden, just within a week's time, I must have seen 25 women wearing that. And sure enough, I met somebody the following week. Her name is Cherry. Literally, her God-given, well, not God, well, we Southerners, we say God-given. Her parents, on her birth certificate, her name is Cherry. And we were very, very, very dear friends and did a lot of business together for a very long time. Crazy. So I'm going to go more into the meaning of polar bear and the star tarot card, because the first things that the reason I bring up the cherry story is that happened to be a particularly important omen for me, and a particularly fortuitous omen for me, and I didn't know it until it happened, right? And at the time, I wasn't really into the woo-woo. I was just like, well, gee, that's kind of coinky-dinkle, and I passed it off as, whatevs, and I went on about my merry business. Today, I look back on that and go, wow, right? Okay, so, all that said, and by the way, my decor behind me, that is a bear. I just went and got that from Hobby Lobby. And the whole bear thing, I'm not gonna bore you guys with the rest of it that's happened for me this week, bear related, and how it relates to you, is the polar bear being this card for the the horoscopes for the month. Okay, so the reason that I'm like, anything that you notice that is that is a synchronistic thing over and over and over. It could be a flower, it could be a smell, it could be anything, you guys. So please, oh please, oh please pay attention. Well, the star card, as we talked about a little bit on Monday, is about healing, hope, and renewal. Okay, so what I want to say about that is this. You might get a message over and over and over again that fortuitous hope, healing, wishing on a star kind of thing. You might be hearing Jiminy Cricket, when you wish upon a star, that kind of thing. But what it may be alerting you to is maybe some not so great stuff coming down the pike, but the result of that is going to be fabulous. So no matter how you chalk it up, it is going to be fabulous, but you might have to sit on the pointy part of a star a couple times before you get to said fabulous, right? Okay, but don't be scared, because, and I'm going to switch. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, I am the creator and publisher of buildingbeautifulsouls.com, which is one of the 2 or 3 largest metaphysical portals on the internet. Thousands of pages of free information and free meanings and symbols and all of that kind of thing. And I'm also the creator and publisher of whatismyspiritanimal.com, which is the largest website with the most traffic of anything having to do with spirit and totem animals anywhere on the internet. And the reason I brag about that is I've got over 400 animals that other people would never ever think to put on there, but I'm all about that. So, if there isn't an animal, well, I can't say that. There are millions and millions and millions of animals, so I'll never in this lifetime get them all up on the site, but my intent is to have literally thousands of animals, because you just never know. I mean, I've got a person who has relationship with axolotls, and if you don't know what an axolotl is, hold on, let me show you. They're the cutest dang things you ever saw in your life. I think I have it filed under fish, because I mean, it is what it is. Axolotl, are you here? Really? I don't know what I have it filed under. Hold on, I'll do a search for it, if I can remember how to spell it. I never can remember how to spell this. Let me find it at the end of this. Let me move ahead. But anyway, you got to see the axolotl. They're the most adorable things ever. And in the book, by the way, the new book. So where I'm going with this, with the animals and my sites, and anything having to do with tarot or chakras, or you can always go to buildingbeautifulsouls.com. You can always go to whatismyspiritanimal.com. If it's not there right now, it will be shortly. I've got a particularly large section of angel numbers on this site. That's a whole nother story for another day. But here's the story. I'm going to jump from the star to the bear, and here's why I say that. So when I was getting prepared for the horoscopes today, I mean, I already knew that it was, to film the horoscopes today for this month, for December 2021, I already knew that the card was bear, and, well, polar bear in particular, and the star card. Okay. But what that means for every zodiac sign for the rest of the month, that takes meditation. That takes, getting the information downloaded and relating it to you. All of a sudden, all I could see Now, they weren't angry polar bears, but they were aggressive polar bears, not in an ugly way, but in a way that makes you go, "Rut-row," and comply. Comply. And what that means, I don't know if you guys know this, but polar bears are considered one of the most aggressive and terrifying mammals on this earth. They are the only true carnivores of bears. Panda bears are the only true vegetarians, and then every other bear is an omnivore. But there's not a lot that grows in the snow, so it's very rare, if ever. I mean, I gotta believe sometime that you're gonna see a polar bear eating anything but meat, and they'll ingest just about anything. Humans, humans along with them. So, and they're ginormous, y'all. So that said, I just kept seeing that. And then when I already knew it was about some synchronicity, but then as every dang thing in the world blocked me from doing this video until December 4th, right? When it was supposed to be on the 1st, I, ha- I had to do exactly what I'm telling y'all to do. Look at the synchronicities. And that's when it dawned on me, if I have to say the word synchronicity 45,000 times in this reading, I'm going to say the word synchronicity. And for you to please, 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 please pay attention. Now, don't make things up just because, you want something to happen. Don't try to connect dots of things that are not connected. But when they are connected, whatever this is that's coming to you okay, and I just want to say this. So I have a habit of, I've got a mini Rider-Waite deck. I just love it. It's my banky panky. And I always shuffle it when I do readings. And I don't know why, but I do. And all of a sudden I was told to stop. And don't you know, the celebration card is right up. Okay, the Three of Cups. Here we go. So where I was about to go with this is, whether you get stuck with a couple of the pointed parts of a star, and it's not so comfortable or it's not so great, it, as I said before, it will result in something fabulous, and you won't mind those sticks and not fun stuff so much, because what's coming is this card, celebration. Okay. If you are not experiencing the pointy end of stars, on your bottom or maybe in your eye, you're still being called to be aggressive. And what I mean by that is this. Whatever this is, and remember, on my channel, we talk about we don't dream, we don't wish, we don't want, we don't need. We don't dream, we don't wish, we don't want, we don't need, we don't hope. Now, I understand that the star card is about hope. I get that, but that's something that most people can identify with, and that's what the traditional meanings of that Rider-Waite tarot card are. Far be it from me to change up the traditional Rider-Waite Smith tarot. I'm not doing that. But in Bernadette's world, in the world that I teach in, we don't do those things, we choose. Because when we wish, when we want, when we hope, even when we dream, when we need, it gives the power to bring us what we want to something else out there that we may or may not wholly believe in. And we may or may not wholly believe in ourselves, but it's a good time to start. Right now is a good time to start believing in yourself, because whatever this is that you're choosing in your life, you're hesitant. I can feel it. You're like, really? So if I just choose it, really? And some of you I can feel it. You're like almost with your little bear paw, you're like reaching out really tentatively, like, ooh, is that going to hurt? It's time for you to be aggressive. Get aggressive. Be aggressive, right? Whatever that cheer was. I wasn't a cheerleader. They wouldn't even let me be the mascot, but I'm not still bitter. But anyway, so the aggression of polar bear, whether to be aggressive, like, take a bite out of life, out of the negativity that is going to come ambling down the path for you, or if that's not, and that's not going to be your experience, and you're just going to like do right into some fabulousness. That's great and everything, but you are not going to do pass go for that fabulousness unless you reach out and grab it. So there's that. The other thing that I was really struck by polar bear with is that, they're super independent bears, really, really independent bears. And that can be really dangerous in the frozen tundra. Now, bears all over tend to be, they stay in their families for this amount of time, that amount of time, but and they're independent to a degree, but they're not like polar bears. And let's be honest here. Polar bears live in absolutely the harshest conditions, other than if you're a camel living in the Sahara, or you're, one of the sand foxes or whatever. It's just an insanely harsh environment, but they survive. But their risk is higher. I mean, yeah, can you get hurt as a bear in the woods? Sure you can. You could not be paying attention on what you're doing and tumble down a cliff or tumble right off the side of a mountain that you're trying to scale, but that doesn't happen very often. Mostly what harms bears is when they get into a fight for their territory or mating, or some stupid human, does something to them. That's normally what bothers. But you're talking about now being, at one of the poles in the frozen tundra, lack of food, don't get me started. So I'm not painting this to be, oh my gosh, danger, danger, Will Robinson. What is being told to me by polar bear for your horoscope for December, and I honestly think it's going to blend into January, is you've got the skill set to choose what you want and be aggressive and get what you want with no danger. Honestly. Now, I want to make it clear. These readings are for edutainment purposes only. So if your family writes me and tells me that based on this video, you decided you could fly a plane when you only took one flying lesson and you're now got your wings on the other side, it ain't because of Bernadette. So let's keep this all in perspective, right? Okay, you get what I'm saying. But whatever you're doing, you'll have to be very individualistic about it. Now, that does not mean that you have to be alone or lonely or go it alone. I just keep hearing the word individualistic. And all I can hear in my head is, I did it my way. And you just got to keep singing that, because when people are like, I think you should do this. No, I don't think you should do that. Or that's not good enough. Or, hey, let me put my, big opinion in there where it wasn't asked for. Do not, under any circumstances, let it deter you from what you know to be right. Because I'm telling you right now, polar bear has got your back, and they can get like 10 feet tall when they stand up. I think even taller, really, for the big males. So that's quite an animal to have in your back. Now, the other thing that I want to say is this. Now, I understand this card is called the Star Tarot card. It's not the stars, but it does have the 7 stars of Pleiades around it. Okay, so this could be a stars card, but all I can see in my head is the North Star, 1 star. And I keep hearing, it's the North Star, it's the North Star. And if you're familiar with the phrase, so-and-so is my North Star, or such and such ethic, or such and such moral, or such and such belief, or such and such, paradigm, or whatever is my North Star, that means the thing that keeps you on track, keeps you on track, keeps you on track. Whatever star it is, whatever it is, person, sentiment, I don't know, y'all, animal, yourself, whatever it is that keeps you moving toward your North Star, that's the only thing you can move toward in December. Honestly, for every zodiac sign. It doesn't matter what zodiac sign you are. It is all about turning to your true north, which can be interpreted also as your truest truth. So whatever your truest truth is, and only you will know that. Only you will know that. And I just, if I was choosing for you, if I were you as you and choosing for you, if I wasn't sure what my true north was, I would sit with it for a little bit, and I would ask whatever your spirit, totem, and power animal or tarot archetype to come to you and say, this is your truest of true. This is your true north. This is really where you should be headed. So, and just so you know, every one of you are stars to me. Just so you know, I'm going to get all choked up. I just love you guys so much. You're always so good to me. And the stories I get from what you guys do or are doing for animals is always really cool. So I'm going to get off of here before my makeup runs because I got to film the rest of the Zodiac stuff today. So I don't need runny makeup or red eyes. But in any event, I love you all. I hope this was helpful. And as always, I say keep reaching for the stars. But what's most important? To do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.